Hey guys, so today on episode 0 of Spin Up, we're going to be talking about Christmas holiday traditions, specifically in America, what are based on some of my traditions I had with my family. And also we have Allen, who is a native Chinese individual here in America. And we have Usman from Pakistan. He is in Pakistan right now, but we're definitely dear friends. He's back home now. But we're going to also ask both of them what their traditions were in their home countries or what other people do during the Christmas time in their home countries. So we're going to begin first with them asking me questions about my tradition. So go ahead, have at it, guys.
Yeah, when do you realize there's no Santa Claus, or how do you realize it?
Wow, that is a tricky question. Um, I guess I would say Santa Claus is real, guys. He's real.
Okay,
He's real, kids.
I will
Um,
take it.
yeah, I mean, growing up, there's really no point where, like, I guess for some people, parents would actually tell them, yeah,
Mhm.
kids at a certain age, they'll say, hey, Santa's not real anymore. Like, grow up, it's not real. We are the ones that go out and buy all these gifts for you. We shove them under the Christmas trees for you. It's our money, not Santa. My parents never did that to us. They never brought it up that way. Like for me growing up, I always, even when I was a little kid, Santa was real in my mind. Of course, my parents would not say anything otherwise, and we would go to bed thinking, let's listen to maybe the reindeers on the rooftop. Maybe Santa's going to come down and come inside and put presents under the Christmas tree, like you have there, Alan, behind you.
Yes.
Um, and in the morning time, because most of us will probably be up awake most of the night as kids. In the morning time, we would wake up even earlier than normal and try to sneak downstairs to see how many presents are under the tree at night. Try to sneak very quietly because you have to go past your parents' rooms and stuff. You don't want to wake them up.
Hmm.
um, but yeah, it was for me. I don't really have a specific time where it's like definite. It just kind of transitioned once I got a certain age. It just was like, okay, Christmas, like I could tell that it was my dad doing everything.
Yeah, Santa Claus is your parent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad did everything in terms of getting all the gifts and stuff hidden and then putting them under the tree at night. And my mom, like, she went through and put decoration everywhere, put snacks out. So yeah, that can lead into more talks about some of the traditions that my family had, with like my mom handling a certain part of the holiday decorations and look of the house and all that, and my dad handling another part of it. So, but I still believe in Santa Claus. So how about you, Usman? You have a question for me?
Yeah, so like I am a bit confused about like Santa. Like Christmas is supposed to be the birth of Jesus, right? Then like where does
Yeah,
Santa from? Like I am like really
yeah.
confused about.
Yeah. That's a very, very good question. Even for me, for a while, I was confused about it because my parents never kind of drew the huge distinction as we were growing up. But the real, like you stated, the real meaning or purpose of the holiday time of Christmas is not a Christmas tree and presents. It's the birth of Jesus Christ. It's sort of the representation of that time period and celebration of that, and what it meant. So that has no kind of correlation to Christmas as it's has been monetized and commercialized in the world. It's totally different. So Christmas, I mean, we can look it up too. Like look up Christmas. What does it really mean? I'll let Alan do that. But from my understanding, Christmas is a pagan
Okay.
holiday. It's not anything specific to Christianity. So, what'd you find there, Alan?
Okay.
So it says Christmas, or the Feast of Nativity, is an annual festival commiserating the birth of Jesus Christ, observed primarily on December 25th as a religious and cultural celebration among billions around the world. So, yeah, it's just a festival. And the main point of it is Jesus Christ, his birth. So, so there's, you can start getting into like, okay, how about this idea of like Santa Claus and what are his many names and what's the point of this guy? So that's another thing you could search for. Saint Nick. Who is Saint Nick? Why did this idea of like having a tree and presents come about? Where did it come from? It didn't come from the Bible, that's for sure.
Actually, Santa Claus has some other name. So can you give some examples and the story behind it?
What other ones? Kris Kringle. So Santa has like many names, and across the world there's different names that are given to Santa Claus too. So I think in America it's going to be primarily Santa Claus, and then like probably in the European area I think there's a different names. I think it might be Kris Kringle or Saint Nicholas. For that area is kind of the predominant name they give to Santa. Yeah, I've really never dug into like any historic differences between the names, but I think it's just primarily where are you from in terms of how your culture names Santa Claus. So, but it's the same person. So there's also the story of Saint Nicholas, who is a saint and a real person, Saint Nick. So I would have to search for that. Known as Saint Nicholas of Bari, was an early Christian bishop of Greek descent from the maritime city of Mara in Asia Minor. Greek. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So the last line there. His reputation evolved among the faithful, as was common for early Christian saints, and his legendary habit of secret gift giving gave rise to the traditional model of Santa Claus, Saint Nick, through origination of Santa Claus. He liked to give gifts. So there you go. Santa Claus is real.
In Pakistan, they call him Christmas Baba.
Christmas.
So like, yeah, Baba is like a old man. Yeah.
Oh no.
An old man. Okay.
Yeah. And Christmas is also called Bada Din, which which to my understanding means like big day.
Okay. Big day, like a big celebration or a very important day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In China, we call it Shengdan. It's because Sheng is the translation from Saint. Dan is the birthday. So we combine it together. We call it Shengdanjie.
Shengdanjie.
Yeah, Shengdanjie.
Nice.
Sheng is the saint. But in Taiwan, the official name of Shengdanjie is a little bit different because back to around like 5 decades ago, and the president of the Republic of China thinks saint in China is Kongzi, and they call so they changed the name to Ye Danjie. Ye Dan is Jesus. Jesus is translated to Ye, so they call it Ye Danjie. It's the same, the birthday of the Jesus instead of the birth of the saint. I think a lot of the young generations, they still call it Shengdanjie because it's in all the Mandarin speaking regions area, we all call it Shengdanjie.
That's fascinating because I mean, you could get into theological reasons too. I could, at least, in terms of like the naming choices and stuff. But it's interesting because with Christianity, we believe that Christ and God are the same. So it doesn't matter if you call them Sheng or God or Jesus.
Jesus. Yeah.
They're one and the same.
Yeah. I guess it's because most of the people are not really Christian. We have hard time to figure out why. I remember there's three represents or something. Like Jesus is the God, or I'm
Trinity.
kind of confused. I think most of the people are confused about that thing. We thought like different because they have different names.
Sure.
Yeah.
And most times, I mean, the main point, I guess, for it is, the understanding of God is past our comprehension, right? In his realm, three can be one, or one can be three. In our realm as humans, it's hard to imagine that 3 fingers is 1 finger, or 3 objects is one. But yeah, it's definitely a human logical thing. The way that
you remind me of a very good thing. It's kind of like similar, like the Chinese culture is yin and yang. Yin is yang, yang is yin. This kind of thing, like what? This is totally 2 different perspectives. How they can be the same, right?
For you guys in your culture, what is Christmas to you guys, the day and stuff of that nature. So I guess for you, Usman, what are some, if there's any, what are some like traditional things did you do during the holiday time? Is this like something you never thought about growing up? It was nothing brought up. This idea of Christmas, did it ever come up in your family, or as you're growing up with your family members?
Was never an event. So like the day 25th December, it is also the birthday for the founder of Pakistan. So sometimes we have a holiday for that. So it's only a single holiday. And it's because of that birthday, and all of the TV channels and media, they're like trying to celebrate that. So it's kind of a patriotic day for us as well.
What is the name of the founder?
Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah. So not the boxer.
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah. So
that'd be cool.
I've never experienced Christmas in Pakistan. So it was always, watching Hollywood media and all of that stuff, and you're like, oh yeah, like there's something Christmas where people give gifts. And I have never received a gift.
No?
Which I don't know who it is from. Like in Christmas, you just give gifts randomly.
Gotcha.
So like I have never had that. And like one of the things I remember is like the movie Home Alone. I think it's around Christmas time, right?
Yeah. That was one of the ones I had on my list here. Yeah.
So I've watched it in my childhood, and I never, made that connection that it's a Christmas movie. I was like, oh yeah, it's just a kid who's like, stuck at home.
Left home.
Yeah.
Macaulay
So
Culkin.
now, like, I was thinking about it some days ago, and I was like, oh, that's a Christmas movie. So yeah, I've like recently had this realization. So
it's interesting.
Generally, Christmas. Yeah. So generally, Christmas isn't a big thing in Pakistan, but there is a small Christian community which does celebrate it. The rich Pakistani Muslims also celebrate it, but generally, it's a Christian holiday. The traditional and conservative Muslims, they don't celebrate it because there's theological differences between Christianity and Islam. So they're like, yeah, we don't do that over here. So that's the kind of situation in Pakistan.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny you brought up Home Alone. It's really cool to see that there's certain, I guess, movies, they pervasively go out into the world, especially Western movies apparently are everywhere. And so you guys get a perspective of our culture through these movies. That's one of the traditional holiday movies a lot of people would know about is Home Alone, Macaulay Culkin being home by himself and, doing his scream and the people try to break into his house. But yeah, that's one, idea of Christmas, I guess, but it's of course dramatized to a huge degree. Hopefully people aren't getting broken into during the holiday time. That would suck. But there's that leads into, I guess, other movies. What are other movies you have seen? Like, let me start with you, Alan. What movies have you seen kind of growing up about Christmas? Like, what are some classic traditional movies that you saw that represented Christmas to you as you grew up in China?
The movie I watched the most is about the Day Holiday. So that's a movie released on 2006. The Holiday, yeah.
Comedy? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, I watched I think at least 50 times.
Gotcha. That's a lot of times. I have not watched that one time.
yeah. I probably like watch it every month when I was in college.
Oh wow!
And especially, I definitely will watch it one time during the Christmas. So yeah, that will be more than 50 times, I guess.
Wow.
I just initially I like the background, then I like the story, even a little bit
Feel better, yeah. So does it have a lot of holiday songs in it? A lot of holiday themes?
Yes. Okay. The interesting thing is, Christmas, there's a white Christmas, but in LA, I don't think you can get a snow. So, but in UK, they have a lot of snow. It's very cold. So they will change the thing, like, when they were in LA, when they were in the UK. So the different, kind of Christmas. So they do different things. And that's the interesting part.
Cool. All right. That's your holiday movie. And I guess I can share with you guys several of my traditional, holiday traditional shows that I watched growing up. There are quite a few, but we'll just go down a few of them. One of them is, of course, Frosty the Snowman. This is like a traditional cartoon from 1969.
Wow.
Yeah, this was one that I grew up on, and they show it every year, even this, up to this year. They keep showing this. It's a classic TV show about Frosty the Snowman, basically a character that comes to life, a snowman that comes to life, and they talk kind of about his storyline. Very classical. You should definitely watch it if you haven't seen it yet. Another one is Rudolph, of course. There's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Oop. This is a classical one also from the 60s, so 1964.
It's so cute.
Yeah. And so they had a lot of cartoons like this that had these stop motion kind of animated characters in it, from Frosty to what was the other one? Jack Frost, which is another one. Rudolph, which is one. I think there's some about Saint Nick too. So let's see, Jack Frost. So yeah, Jack Frost is another one. So he has kind of a similar look. Yeah. So these are some of the more classic movies that I loved growing up. I would watch these every year. Whenever Christmas time came around, I would want to watch these, like, near our Christmas tree in the dark, just sit there as a kid and watch the TV, watch them over and over again because they're so much fun. And some other ones, of course, include Home Alone. That was a classic. What are some other ones? Let me see. I do have more. Let's see. Dr. Seuss, of course. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Have you guys? I'm sure you've seen this.
So, I wanted to ask about Grinch. What is the Grinch?
So Grinch is just a grumpy type of the main idea. He's representing kind of the grumpy character, the grumpy individual that might exist during the holiday time. Everybody should be happy and having fun and spending time with family, but the Grinch is that that character, that person inside of you, I guess, the way I look at it, that probably had a lot happen to you in life that caused you pain and not really want to enjoy time with others and happiness and stuff like that. You're kind of all grumpy, a Grinch. And so people might call you a Grinch if you're, bashing the holiday time, not doing anything fun with anyone, not accepting invitations anywhere, so you could be called a Grinch. But yeah, so the Grinch by Dr. Seuss, this very classical. Of course, they have all these different renditions too, with like Jim Carrey in it and stuff like that. But I specifically mean Dr. Seuss's like original cartoon. So that was one that I watched. Have you watched it, Alan?
I watched the anime, but it's not the real person one.
Good. Yeah, the animated ones are much better. So, and there's many more. Those are just a few. But yeah, one more would be Charlie Brown Christmas. Like there's the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving and also Charlie Brown Christmas. These are like two like the top ones that I like. I actually own both of those through I think iTunes or something like that. And those are really fun. Charlie Brown. I'm not sure if you guys, Charlie Brown, right?
Brown. Yeah,
I've heard of the name.
Yeah, so Charlie Brown Christmas. Yeah,
we have seen this character.
Yeah, because they have the Charlie Brown tree, right? This little tree character here. Everybody will have their Charlie Brown tree. Some people will do it for the Christmas time. They'll have a small, instead of a big tree like Alan in the background, they'll have this small, whittled up, small little baby tree that doesn't have much happening on it. But, it still is representative of the love of people coming together and, doing stuff together, that whole camaraderie and holiday time, the merriment and happiness of the holiday time. So, but yeah, cartoons that I grew up on.
Like the idea of Christmas for me, is, as Alan mentioned earlier, is like there's snow everywhere and it's a white Christmas, right? How has the experience been for you?
Growing up each year. So, I guess if I think back, my experience with Christmas, growing up as a kid, I was born in Texas, but we moved to Germany immediately. So my childhood is more there. I think of Germany as my childhood more so than America. And in Germany, even the first year we got there, they had one of their most historic winter storms when we landed and got to our place. It just snowed, and there's like tons of snow in the area that we were at in Frankfurt, Germany. So I remember, the white Christmases for sure, because snow everywhere. We lived in kind of these apartment complexes that the military provided, and so our neighbors downstairs, they would literally make igloos. I'm not sure if you like Eskimo igloos. So they would have these square bins and fill it with snow or water and freeze it, and then build these igloo structures outside. So literally a little area you could go inside of it and kind of just sit there and play, and you just have ice all around you. And this is something I wanted to bring up to you, Alan, eventually, about the Chinese tradition. You guys have a specific tradition in China where they build an entire ice city. We'll talk about that. So White Christmas is for sure in Germany, that's for sure. And the being around family, the food, my mom would always be the one that would put out, she had these crystal bowls she would get, and she would put them out all around the house and fill them with candy, all types of candy and cookies and whatever else, specifically throughout the December time. And then on Christmas Eve, when we're sleeping, she would put out even more. So it looks like Santa really came and put all types of candy out. and she would make a bunch of cookies and cinnamon rolls and pies and everything. I mean, my mom was a beast when it came to the kitchen. But I guess, for her, she had the time and experience because she had 5 sons, had 4 brothers, 4 boys. So a lot of mouths to feed, a lot of men to feed, including my dad. But yeah, and plenty food, from ham to turkey to all your fillings and whatnot during the holiday time. But my mom would decorate the inside of the house. She would do the tree, and I think I've talked to Alan before. When I was young, one thing that I liked to do during the holiday time was lie under the Christmas tree. So like behind you, Alan, I would be down up under the Christmas tree because I was small enough to get under there compared to all my other brothers, and just stare up and look at all the ornaments, because we had like all these ornaments that my parents collected over the years from various friends and families. And so it's really cool just to look at them every year and understand kind of the history behind them, and look at the lights and everything blinking, and the gifts will be all around me and stuff. They put a few gifts under there just to make it look nice. And then on Christmas Eve, my dad would like come out and pour out all the gifts all around the tree and outside of the tree. But yeah, it was a good time. Like, we would keep the house heated. Back then it was through radiators. They had the radiators you put under the window. When they transitioned to that, historically, before they didn't have that, they had like the heaters, like a fireplace or furnace somewhere. And then eventually they made those radiators you put under the window, so the air coming in to the house can be warmed immediately and keep the place ventilated. So we kept the house warm that way. But yeah, for me, it was magical, growing up during Christmas time.
That's nice.
Yeah, my mom and dad made it magical. They worked their butt off to do that. So I thank them. But yeah, so transitioning to you, Alan, back to that notion of China has, like, I guess you can give me more detail, but they have a specific area in China where they create an entire ice village or city or something like that, right?
As you can see, here's North Korea, here's the South Korea, and here is Harbin. This is the Harbin city. So this is North Korea, this is South Korea. So it is pretty close. This is the border between Russia and China. So you can see very close. And it is very cool. And every year they have a thing about what the topic of the festival will be. So they will just like sculpt all the, as you
and I hear they also like light it up too. It's like a light show too, right?
Yes.
And
they will have a fireworks show every year, I guess, at least once or several times. I haven't been there, but I heard a lot about that.
So during your childhood, you've been receiving gifts, right? But now you would be giving gifts as well. So do you still receive gifts, or only children get gifts? Because like there's a similar thing for Muslims, where when you're young, you get money. Like, we don't get gifts, we get money. But when you grow up, then you have to give money. So like, then the feeling completely changes for that festival. So like, how is it for you?
I know, like in Chinese culture, right? You guys have the red envelopes,
money,
right?
Yeah.
The money, the red envelopes. Yeah. And I think it's similar for them, where it's kind of based on age and all that, and who gives who what. Alan can talk more about that, but I guess for us, in terms of the holiday times, in the U.S., people still get gifts for sure. We'll exchange, if it's like when you're older like us with friends, you can have what they call like a white elephant gift giving, where you kind of exchange gifts, a gift exchange. I don't know, what's the other one called? Like bad Santa, naughty Santa. I don't know. There's like these different exchange types where you can give a gift and then you go around and you can either choose to steal the gift or pick a new gift that hasn't been picked yet, right? That type of stuff. That's what happens inside of your corporate offices or during your holiday parties with your coworkers, stuff like that. They'll have these gift exchange. And in terms of family and friends, yeah, you still exchange gifts and you send, cards, Christmas cards, stuff like that. So I still get gifts. I've given gifts still, like this year, not so much because I'm not wealthy right now because of the pandemic, and I haven't been working after graduating. But normally I would buy, what I feel, if I know the person pretty well, then I'll give them a gift that I know they want that would work well for them as an individual. If not, I might give them a gift card. I think that's kind of the traditional fallback for most Americans. Oh, you don't know what to give them? Here's a gift card. Go buy what you want, But yeah, speaking of holiday gifts, I was talking to Allen the other day. When I grew up, Christmas cards, yeah.
That's the mailed to me.
Yep. Yeah, this is the one that
gift card.
The one that Allen gave me, my Christmas card.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. But yeah, so one thing I wanted to share with you guys today, I was talking to Allen the other day about is growing up, we get a lot of gifts and a lot of toys when you're a kid. And so I wanted to share with you one toy that I got, our family got, my brothers and I got. And it's pretty expensive now at this point. I think it's over 20 years old. But it's a toy called Teddy Ruxpin. So have you heard of this, Usman?
No.
Teddy Ruxpin?
Never.
Teddy Ruxpin, yep. So this one specifically, Grubby and Teddy Ruxpin. And this was part of like a TV show back in the day, but you can see they're pretty expensive nowadays.
Wow.
And I can show you. I actually have the holiday version of it. So this is Teddy Ruxpin holiday version. This is Grubby. I can show you Teddy Ruxpin, the bear. Kind of like the animatronic type stuff you would see at a theme park. His mouth will move, his eyes will move, he will talk. In the back, he actually has cassette tape in the back of him. But I need to get him fixed because it's been so long. He doesn't work right now.
He's cute.
Yeah, so he's a really cute bear. But yeah, so these are very valuable now. But this was a toy that, back in the day, all the kids wanted. And somehow my mom and dad scrounged up money, though we didn't have any, for, having 5 sons, to get these here for us because they knew how much we liked the TV show. It was a cartoon called Teddy Ruxpin that we watched when we were a kid. And so this was a toy by Worlds of Wonders, it says here. So manufacturers a high quality and innovative manufacturer of high quality, innovative family products, which combine the latest animation technology, back then at least, with good, wholesome fun and adventure. So they were trying to bring, kind of animatronic technology into toys back then. That was kind of one of the earliest forms of it, Teddy Ruxpin. Every year, even if they're not Christians, they will still celebrate Christmas because even people who travel from India, China, Pakistan, wherever around the world and live here in America, their children are exposed to it in school, where the kids are like, yeah, we're having this for Christmas. My parents are doing this for us. They'll go back home and be like, Mom, Dad, why can they have it, but we can't? And then the mom and dad would, start celebrating Christmas too, just to make them feel inclusive, I guess, into the culture. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Big money maker too, right? Big money maker for
definitely
for the consumer market. So
yeah, I want to share you the guys when I talk about the Christmas apple. I think like Chinese Christmas has its variants because sense about like what we do in China. So before Christmas and even before the Christmas Eve, you will see a lot of like Christmas tree with the big apple, the artificial apple under the Christmas tree. But
that looks
during
so nice.
the maybe a little bit colorful package, there's an apple in it, and sometimes they will use write some characters, Mandarin characters like 平安. This is healthy and give you a very. It's of course the package is red because the red means like happiness, this kind of a thing. So yeah, as you can see here, this is the characters. This one, this boy, this like 圣诞快乐 means like Merry Christmas. This is called 平安果. This is just like the Christmas apple in Mandarin. So you can see the snowman, a lot of things there. So far, it seems like this kind of like that's the difference between the Chinese version with others. With the Christmas in the US. It's like
Apple is really important for the US people as well, but just in a different form. They try to buy Apple phones and everything.
Yeah. So
true.
And one interesting thing here is like you can see it's an apple, it's a Christmas, but you can see this symbol. It's a very traditional Chinese thing. It's like the best wishes. So it's kind of like we combine these two together, just like give you the best wishes.
Wow, that's really that's different. I've never seen this before. Literally, when you said that, the first thing is what Usman said came to my mind. Christmas apple? Apple phone, Apple laptop, Apple iPad.
It's not. It's just like just a real apple. Yeah.
The only place in an American culture that from my past that I know that has been kind of a staple thing to do is when you're giving an apple to a teacher, right? You present an apple to them as a gift. Yeah, that's the only kind of classical time in which I've seen people giving one apple to someone is to give it to your teacher, lao shi, master, whatever. Here, yeah. But we don't have it tied. The only other place where apples I can think of is probably used is when you do like the candy apples during the holiday time. They're on a stick, similar to what you did with the strawberries there that you showed. And it's you can dip it in all types of stuff. It could just be the clear sugar stuff, which is all candied, or you can put it in chocolate or caramel or whatever and give those out. But yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, I guess it's a culture thing because apple in Mandarin is 平安果. It's if you see because Christmas Eve in Mandarin is 平安夜, they are starting with the 平. That's because it's kind of the culture thing. Because 苹果means like 平安果. That's the thing we're gonna have during the Christmas. Yeah, so it's kind of like we combine the Christmas with our own culture.
Okay,
so that's a way. It's very popular in China, but it probably is not a thing in the US. I guess that's the reason.
Okay, cool, got it. Now I get the connection. 苹果.
Yeah. I guess that's the thing.
Very cool. So I should have gotten you an apple.
Yeah, you can just send me an apple next year.
Okay, perfect. All right, everyone. That does it for our first episode of Spin Up. We hope you enjoyed the Christmas holiday topic today. If you liked it, please give us a thumbs up. If you didn't like it or thought it was too long, please give us a thumbs down. Also, we want to hear from you about your favorite Christmas memories and traditions, so please leave a comment below. We have more episodes coming at you on various topics that techs talk about here on Spin Up, so do hit that bell to subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Peace.